Ladies and gentlemen, there is more drama to the Colby and Masvidal's case and all the thing that happened. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov himself is waiting on the drama, and I will read you what he literally said on the Twitter. If you are stronger than someone inside of the octagon, it does not mean that you can insult his children. No one has the right to insult someone's family. Once you have gone down this path, then be ready to back up your words. You are attacked by a professional fighter, the same as you are, your own size, and you go press charges against him to the police? I think all welterweights should refuse to fight Colby. Just don't accept fights with him. Let him sit without a fight. It will probably significantly affect him and all fighters who even think of insulting families, who is provoking the fighters to look for someone in restaurants to deal with him. Now, do you think that Khabib is right? I think that Khabib is being a hypocrite now. I'm a huge Khabib fan. I was on a Khabib's hype train even way before he was a household name. But I will literally just say this has been just hypocritical, because I don't remember Khabib boycotting Conor McGregor when Conor insulted Khabib's family, when he called his wife a towel at the wedding and then was just joking that there's a goat under the towel. That's insulting religion, his family, everything that is dear to him. And Khabib never boycotted Conor. He actually squashed that beef inside of the octagon and then just completely ignored Conor and just led his life without him. And that's what Masvidal was supposed to do. But he never did that, because Masvidal had a fair chance in a martial art combat for 25 minutes to impose his will and beat Colby up. But he never did that. He was bested by him. He lost fair and square. There was this time and chance to move on, because Colby is not that kind of person that is throwing insults on someone after the fight. After the second fight with Usman, he never attacked Usman again. And I think that Colby is playing a heel. Also, not only Khabib is being a hypocrite here, but I think he's also misinformed, because Masvidal's team spin this around and said that Colby insulted his children and his family. But if you look at all the tapes and all the interviews of Colby, he only called Masvidal a deadbeat father, and he said that he's late on alimony for his ex-wife. He never insulted his kids. He never insulted Masvidal's ex-wife. This was a narrative spin by the team of Masvidal, and everybody's just jumping on it like, oh my God, you should never insult someone's family, you should never insult someone's kids. And I agree with it. But Colby never did it. Just watch the tape, watch any of the interviews. Colby never insulted Masvidal's kids. And Masvidal is just spinning it around like, hey, I'm just out here protecting the honor of my kids. If you are really protecting honor of your kids, you should be an actual good father, and you should teach them how they should act. They should never attack just anyone who calls them an idiots or assholes. You should never attack some random person on the internet who calls you an asshole. You should not only attack, you should not track them down. That's the difference. That's a premeditated attack. You track someone down, you disguise yourself with a face mask and hoodie, and you sucker punch the person after you had a fair chance in martial art combat. Is that what you want to teach your kids? Because if Colby called Masvidal a deadbeat father, that's how a deadbeat father acts. Because Masvidal, there's an update. Masvidal is being charged by some felony charges, and he had to plead a bail and plead not guilty and paid $15,000 in bail, and he ended up in a jail overnight. How do you explain that to your kids? Hey, where have you been, Dad? Oh, I was in jail. For what? Because I sucker punched the guy and tracked him down after I couldn't beat him in an octagon. How do you explain that to your kids, that is fine? And I'm very disappointed with the Masvidal again, because I was a huge fan of him. He was a journeyman, and everybody loves a good story when people just lose some fights, win some fights, lose some fights, and then just revive their careers and just turn everything around. Just like Jan Blachowicz. Yeah, Blachowicz was about to be cut by the UFC very early in his career, but he turned his career around, became a champion, beat Adesanya. Amazing story, and Blachowicz is now basically a very inspiring person in all of Europe and all around the world. And Masvidal was on that trajectory. Even despite the fact that he lost his last 3 fights, he was on the trajectory. And that trajectory brings a value, not only to you, but there's people who look up to you. There is kids to look up to you. Your actions and words are not your actions and your words anymore. You are inspiring other people. What you do brings value to other people. So you should act accordingly. And is this what you want to be your message about? I understand you started your career in fighting in the backyards. There is nothing wrong with fighting someone in the street when you just randomly, things get escalated and it just happens. That can happen. I'm completely fine with it. Especially if there's just some beef, people are petty and everything. Shit happens all the time. But tracking down a person and disguising yourself just to sucker punch him, that's borderline pathetic. And you don't see other people do it to to Masvidal. Because, for example, Masvidal actually insulted Ben Askren's family. He did all those things that he claimed Colby did to him. And you never seen Ben Askren going around saying some shit to him. So, is Masvidal right here, or is he wrong, or is he just being pathetic again? Because he completely lost me as a fan. And remember when he was also insulting Usman all the time, and he just got beaten in the octagon again? So why is it fine to track down Colby, and do something that is basically do something to him as an excuse for him calling out on his being a deadbeat father and just doing all those bad things? That's absolutely ridiculous. You don't see Usman, you don't see Ben Askren tracking Masvidal down after they had a fight with him. That is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. And so far for Khabib, I think just Khabib is being hypocrite because he didn't ask for Conor to be boycotted. And Conor did much more worse things to Khabib. He called his wife a towel and called his wife a goat under the towel. That was just absolutely ridiculous. I think that just Khabib is being a little bit misinformed by his camp because they have the same manager as Kamaru Usman. And when Kamaru Usman fought Colby Covington, Colby actually insulted Usman's father. That was a little bit something that I don't agree with. But I think that's why I think that Khabib is not getting the full picture of the situation. So you cannot really be, you cannot really be mad about Khabib because I think he's just a little bit misinformed here. Because you can rewind any tape back, Colby never called Masvidal's children any bad word. He never insulted his ex-wife. He only called Masvidal a deadbeat father, and he just insulted Masvidal all along. So I think this is just a way of Masvidal's team just spinning the narrative around. But, I'm afraid of Masvidal because you're a professional fighter. You have the chance to squash it in the octagon. You're tracking people down. That's just basically the fastest ticket to jail. And he already been in the jail, so you can just keep stacking these charges and his time in jail, and he can get indicted for some quality time. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with Khabib? Should fighters boycott Colby? If anything, I believe the UFC will spin this around and just create some huge rematch between them, like they did with when Conor attacked the trolley when Khabib was there. And also I have to call the Khabib hypocrite because Conor was there when they attacked the bus, and Khabib never stood his ground. He just stood in that bus, which is okay, whatever was happening, and they just called Conor out. But it's just it's just a bad message to everyone. I believe that Khabib is just being a little bit hypocritical and just misinformed in this area, but it is what it is. When there is some huge drama like this, it's just so many streams of information, so you have to just take everything in and reevaluate what's true, what's not. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that the UFC will try to spin this around for some huge rematch? Do you think that that fighter should boycott Colby, or do you think that Masvidal is just really in wrong here? I really believe the latter. I really believe that Masvidal just overstepped a little bit, and I really believe that he's just turning a little bit pathetic and just burying his own career down the path. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.